How many hearts have you broken with those great big beautiful eyes? Those great big beautiful eyes that tell such beautiful lies.
How many times have you kissed somebody like you kissed me then? I don't.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all ships at sea. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important message from the Prepared Mind Network.
Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the bunker. And we're going to talk about SHTF. That's shit hitting the fan. It's doing it in every imaginable way. And I want to make this, I want to make this the top story right here. Former Democrat Representative Tulsi Gabbard. Guess what? She was mentioned as a possible vice presidential pick, not for Biden, but for Trump. And guess what? Next month, she is going to be at a fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago for Trump. Now, this story initially pissed me off to no end. That was my knee-jerk reaction. And I think it's completely acceptable for us to have those kind of knee-jerk reactions because Tulsi Gabbard is no Republican. The only thing about her being a former Democrat representative in the House of Representatives is that she's no longer a representative in the House of Representatives, but she still is exactly who she is, and she believes what she believes. Now, Tulsi has some things which are completely different than the other Democrats, but she's not a VP candidate. And if Trump were to nominate her, I will not vote in 2024. What that would tell me is that this is a shit show and a clown show, and it would make an absolute mockery of politics, Republicans, libertarians, freedom, and the Constitution. That's why I got so pissed off. But then I thought about it a little bit, and then I said, instead, let's look at this differently. I see this as a Trump move to try and moderate the swing voters over to his side, the independents. In fact, it was announced today in mainstream media. Well, wait a minute. It slipped into the media process that normies are for Trump. What is a normie? Well, see, if Democrats are screaming communist socialist pieces of shit, and you and I as patriots are far right radicals, then normies must be people right in the middle. I think that's who Trump is trying to target at this point, right? He wants the moderate swing voters and disenfranchised Democrat voters who are pissed at their liberal masters on the plantation. That would be Democrats in cities who rely on government handouts. They're pissed off because right now all of the illegals, they're not migrants, all of the illegal criminal aliens, they are not seeking refuge politically, right? They're pissed. Not the illegals, but the welfare crowds. And I want everyone, make no mistake about Tulsi. She, in my opinion, is a dangerous bitch and a socialist at best. There's some things she doesn't like about the Democrat Party. I don't think she likes all this woke crap. But she's not a gun advocate. Oh, no, she's not anything about the Second Amendment. She's not anything about the First Amendment. She's not anything about the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 10th Amendment, none of the amendments. She is about big government in your face. Make no mistake. Ooh, man, did you have something to say there? Did you want to throw something up? Let's get it on, man. Bring it out. No? Okay. He's backing off. He's toning that shit down. We're going to go at it, folks. SHTF is, if it should do something, it should piss you off and wake you up. So let's do it. Let's do this. I want to talk about Western hypocrisy. That is to say, United States, Washington, D.C., the World Economic Forum, the European Union, and NATO. Right? They, folks, think that they are the good guys and therefore they can say what they want about anything else. Right? They are hypocrites with respect to the so-called international rules order. Because political prisoners matter. That's right, folks. This is a satire alert incoming. And it's not me this time. It's Gateway Pundit in their article. I'm going to give you the opening paragraph. And you can tell me if satire is not the best way to get the fucking point across. Vladimir Putin and Russia are facing withering Western criticism and threats following the death of a Russian political dissident, Alexei Navalny, and the arrest of dual Russia-American citizens, Knyazia Karolin, who's a ballerina. They wrote, "Silly Putin. He apparently has failed to grasp that all he has to do is declare these folks MAGA supporters, and then he can do what he wants to them, and the West will cheer him on." That's right. Alexei Navalny is being held up as this great pro-Russian, real Russian that Russia really wants. No, he's a political dissident. More than likely, he's a CIA asset, and he was in position to try and take control of Russia if they could have staged a successful coup d'etat. They meaning the CIA. But they didn't. He got caught. He was arrested. Now, that's one man. And also Knyazia Karolin, a ballerina. So seriously, folks, Biden and the FB liars, the DC Metro scum police, compared to the one person that Russia was holding, and Navalny died in prison. They're holding one person, and the world is bitching about it. But wait, Biden, the police, the FBI liars, they're holding hundreds of Americans without trial, hiding them from their families, denying habeas corpus, which means show us the body. The government is not allowed in America to hide prisoners. They're hiding them from us. They're hiding them from families, doctors, lawyers. They're not giving them trials that are guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. Oh, that's fine, though. Zelensky in Ukraine, he arrests critics, steals their wealth, shuts down churches, takes their money, shuts down businesses, silences media, critics, and he's the good guy? But Putin bad. Where's the U.S. criticism of Zelensky? Well, wait a minute. Yeah, just like Navalny would be, Zelensky is their puppet. And the U.S. government wants to criticize Putin, right? They're a bunch of fucking hypocrites. That's the world we live in. That's the fight we're fighting. They don't like this. Folks, right now in America, we are facing a communist insurgence, a color revolution right now. Not next month, not at the end of 2024, not after the election. It's happening now already. Did you know that blue states, Democrat states, are funding racism and racist policies and racist funding of programs? They're committing the crime of racial discrimination. Well, in Michigan, a state representative is now on day 2 of his sit-in to protest anti-white racism in the state budget and in state spending. That is to say, their fiscal policies. They're giving money to everybody in business, well, unless you're white. I thought we were supposed to be colorblind. No, no, no. Those were the days of equality. No more fucking equality, America. You know what they want? They want equity. Equity. Equity is fairness. And who decides what is fair? The people in power. Now, it's amazing to me how the government claims they don't have power. Oh, we can't do this. We can't do that. We can't shut the border. We can't. But then at the same time, they have incredible amounts of power. Now, former Prime Minister Boris Johnson, former Prime Minister, it's been revealed, he is backed out of a Tucker Carlson interview. Oh, by the way, I guess Boris wants to be asked hard questions. Why, Boris? Why don't you want to be asked hard questions? Because, folks, Putin said Boris Johnson stopped a Ukraine-Russia peace deal. And now Boris is embarrassed. They all need to be embarrassed. But you know who isn't embarrassed? Non-binary, transgender, drag queen, LGBT lie fruitcakes. Yet again, folks, I have found another Democrat vice presidential candidate that is sure to garner up those Democrat votes. Guess who it is? It's an Arkansas non-binary activist. Yeah, we had great Democrats come out of Arkansas, like Bill and Hillary Clinton, right? This non-binary activist is a map, a minor attracted person. They're so normal. They're so cute. Anyways, well, no. Sorry, this VP candidate is going to have to pull out of the election. Because it doesn't have a gender. It's non-binary. It has been charged with 20 counts of possession of child sex abuse content. Yeah, folks, it's that kind of fucking world. It really is. I want to take you down to New Zealand, folks. New Zealand. And now we're going to play Let's Take a Wild Fucking Guess. New Zealand was one of the more radical countries on the planet to demand, push, mandate the Jim Jones juice. They were locked down so hard you couldn't take a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken from one city to the next or one political jurisdiction to the next. In fact, they arrested someone for having a bucket of chicken in their trunk. How dare you have a bucket of chicken during a lockdown? Their ex-prime minister, horse-faced Jacinda, is such a piece of trash, I think she fled the country after resigning. And now, folks, I want you to take a wild guess, because there's a politician in New Zealand. He was pushing and still pushing for more Cerveza Bug Jim Jones juice. Guess what he did? Oh, this is unbelievable. This asshat, this clown dictator wannabe. He should have spent his time taking a flying fuck at a rolling donut. But instead, he decided to do a charity run. And he died. During the run, he collapsed and fucking died. And I am not sorry about it. For all the pain, suffering, and death, he and other politicians in New Zealand, Australia, Canada, England, Scotland, Ireland, and even the United States, they all deserve no better for demanding people get this shit. Fuck him and the Jim Jones juice medicine he forced so many to take. Good riddance to him and anyone who pushes this shit on people. I do not hesitate to say that, folks, since this guy and everyone like him hates freedom and wants to be a government slave owner. Oh, you bet. They want to be slave owners. They want to be the new plantation masters. It's unfucking believable, folks. It really is. Where do we go here? Let's see. Do we go with artificial intelligence and shit hitting the fan? Or do we go with total lack of intelligence coming from the Democrats? Well, I'll tell you what. Let's start with artificial bullshit intelligence. The woke Google Gemini has been making a complete filthy mockery of history by replacing within important portraits, pictures, everything, diversity images from founding fathers, religion, popes, history, everywhere. Folks, woke AI is now putting Black women in charge of signing the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution. I thought they didn't even like those documents. It's fucking ridiculous. Woke AI is artificial unintelligence. Even computers are being dumbed down to make history look like the present that the Democrats want and wish for. That's really what they want and wish for all of this to be true, and it's not. Now, do they take white leaders and replace them with, well, Black characters? What about South Africa and the Congo? Do they take Black leaders and replace them with whites there? I mean, just put in the opposite. It's fucking ridiculous. They're not giving up, so you are not allowed to quit. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to continue to face these fucksticks down. Like, here's another example. Communist shit-stained Democrat, Claire McCaskill. She is very upset. She is demanding that the nation's newspapers take it easy on Joe Biden, and stop fact-checking him. And instead, fact check Trump, right? I mean, I just like, what? Let Joe have a free pass on all his lies and gaslighting bullshit? What? No being journalists, even when faced with ridiculous claims that need rebuttal? That is how partisan these people are, folks. It's not about being honest, truthful, accurate, anything. Fact-checking isn't about facts. It's about pushing a political agenda. Period. This is where we're at. Facts don't matter. The appearance is all that matters. In this world, is shit hits the fan worse. Even if you go to, folks, understand this, even if we go to Mad Max in the streets, do not expect, if you have any law enforcement, that it'll be fair, impartial, whatever. Here's my example. In San Francisco, the police have suspended their investigation into swimmer, celebrity, spokeswoman, activist for getting men out of women's sports, Riley Gaines. She was held hostage for ransom. Folks, there was a hostage for ransom. She was held hostage and a ransom was demanded. And the police said, nah, not enough evidence, even though there's video footage of it. Folks, I've got a lot on this one. This is important because I really believe we will not have justice. Even in shit it's the fan, Mad Max, the cops are still not going to be your friends in many places. Place I'm in, they will. Other places like San Francisco, not a fucking chance. They're going to continue to turn a blind eye on intelligence. So Riley Gaines, I'm taking some of this from a online article. I can't remember. There's a bunch of people covering this story this way and reprinting the article. Gaines took to Twitter to voice her experience with these radical fruitcakes. She said, quote, "The prisoners are running the asylum at San Francisco State University. I was ambushed and physically hit twice by a man. This is proof that women need sex-protected spaces, meaning men stay the fuck out of bathrooms. Men stay the fuck out of women's locker rooms. Men stay out of women's sports. So, continuing with Riley Gaines's quote, still only further assures me I'm doing something right. When they want you silent, speak louder. And I thought that was brilliant advice. So Gaines was locked on the 3rd floor, folks, of a building by a perverted fruit salad tossing crowd. They demanded money for her release. They held her hostage, kidnapping in that 3rd floor room, and demanded money. That's hostage taking, kidnapping, is it or what? Right? If you were locked in a room or having to hide in a room from a crowd and you couldn't get out any other way and they were blocking the door and making demands of you for money, what does that sound like? So Gaines, right? She recounted a chaotic scene from the dangerous attack. Yeah, no shit. And she emphasized, folks, the disorienting effect of the protesters' actions and appearance. Here's what she said. Quote, they were everything under the sun. Women, men dressed as women dressed as men, and everything in between, which is why it was so disorienting. Yeah, Riley. Freak shows are meant to disrupt normal human thinking patterns, right? People used to go to a freak show, spend a couple of nickels, and come out going, woo, that was fucking weird. Imagine living that and being that every day, right? Freak shows are meant to disrupt normal human thinking, but those trans freaks, they live that life, completely disoriented, completely off the hook from reality, our real world reality. These are the same idiots that think grocery stores make food. These are the same idiots that think the government has a treasury full of gold and jewels and they can give it all away anytime. These are the same fruitcakes that think the government gives us rights. Idiots. Well, finally, folks, Riley Gaines was escorted from the building by police while being followed by an aggressive, nasty, filthy, freaky crowd. One of the individuals was, screaming derogatory language at her, called her a fucking bitch. And there were trans everywhere about trans rights. So I guess trans rights includes kidnapping, hostage taking, extortion, and ransom demand. Well, despite all the facts, despite all the evidence, the police said, nah, we're going to abort this investigation due to lack of evidence, even though they had to fucking rescue her from a bunch of freaks. Let me tell you what not enough evidence means. Celebrity activists pleading for assistance from law enforcement to free her from a horde of freaks making threats. Not enough. No investigation. How about a throng of cross-dressing, gender-confused fruitcakes screaming at a door behind which a threatened non-freak woman is hiding? Not enough. 3 hours of detailed complaints to the police about what happened. Not good enough. That's the world we live in. Fucking try it with me, freaks. Fucking try me. All right. I'm going to give you a little bit of good news, folks. In New York City, New York, well, there was an appeals court, folks. There was a law. The law permitted 800,000 non-U.S. citizens, 800,000 illegal aliens. They under Obama, they were called dreamers. Oh, how fucking cute is that? They're dreamers. Oh, dreamers. I would love to. These fucking people. They had been allowed to vote. Well, an appeals court said, fuck you, Biden. In a huge decision said that allowing them to vote is unconstitutional. Now, that's a great decision, but there's only one problem with it that I have. You know what that problem is? Who is going to enforce this court decision in the voting booth? at the ballot station, at the registration? Is anyone in New York State or New York City going to actually ask for valid photo ID or what do they call that thing? Oh yeah, birth certificate. Says where you were born. Unbelievable, folks. But still, a good court case, and it just needs to be enforced, and there needs to be real Americans at the polling places. They need to enforce the real laws we have and stop this. Oh, you're disenfranchising us. No, you're not even Americans. Get the fuck out of here. That's what needs to be said. Literally, that's what needs to be said. Okay. Oh boy, there's a lot of news here. Where are we at? I got time. Good. I've got time. Everyone is aware of the cell network systems going down today. Started in certain parts of the country, spread a long ways. I didn't lose mine, but my on one of my jobs, my plumbers had zero cell phone data or ability to make phone calls. I was fine, but there's a problem nationwide or over big parts of the nation. And some questions came up. There was a claim that it was solar flares that caused the problem, but I think that was debunked. So it came back. Well, then what does it leave? Well, the government says it's not a cyber attack. If the government's saying it's not, since the government loves to lie, odds are, yeah, it was a cyber attack. But I think what it demonstrated, once again, is how, number one, we as Americans are over-reliant on a phone taking care of us. Now, I understand. I too am one of them. I take dozens of phone calls, hundreds of fucking emails and text messages daily. And that's before I even get back to the bunker. Now, we've been having lots of warnings lately. Sheriffs warning about terror attacks. The FBI warning sheriffs and other government officials about the undoubtedly coming terror attacks. We've been told we have banking crisis coming, and we've been told for years cyber attacks are real. And then today, on top of everything else, Governor DeSantis in Florida warned people about the possible electromagnetic pulse weapons that can hit us. Folks, the federal government right now, through the FBI, the NSA, the DHS, and every government body, is sending out talking points and predictive programming points to sheriffs, governors, and everyone to spread this potential terror coming. Now, at first I thought, I should get mad about this. It's all a bunch of lies. Well, today we had a little bit of a phone outage issue. The world decided it was crippled. Oh my God. Go pick up a hammer, folks, and hit a nail with it. Don't need a phone for that. Right? Don't need a phone. But the world is continuing to become over-reliant. In fact, we might even call it mortally reliant on technology. So here's the deal. I'm looking at this a different way, and I try and bring you that all the time. Let's look at things a little differently. I take this threat from the government to sheriffs about terror. I take the threat of terrorism by scumbag Christopher Wray of the FBI. I take this threat that we're going to get cyber attacks on our banking system, or cyber attacks on our telecommunication system, or an EMP weapon is coming for us. I look at all of these as a gift from the government to us, whether the news comes through mainstream media or sheriffs or governors, it doesn't matter. What it's doing is letting people know bad shit is possible. You should get prepared. They're making more preppers. And they're bringing to everyone's attention the fact that things are not 100% solid, that America is standing on thin ice, and it could get nasty rather quickly. Rather quickly, you bet. You bet. Well, let's do this. Let's have some fun. Let's go to the inner circle. Man, for what, over 10 years we've been talking about this shit, and it's getting more real by the day. Okay, Mr. Uman, what do we want to talk about, man? What do we want to start with? Holy cow, they just love attacking me. So Name Redacted says, Big Orange would be putting a bigger risk to his continued breathing having someone like her as his backup. He's speaking of Tulsi Gabbard as a potential vice presidential candidate. Big Orange. That's fucking great, man. The Democrats, the socialists, the communists, the fascists, the bankers, the aristocrats of Europe would love to have a Democrat like Tulsi Gabbard in the vice presidential seat so they could bust a cap in Trump's ass, assassinate him, set an example for the rest of the political world. Hey, you fuck around, you get killed. And then Tulsi Gabbard, she would be taken out to the woodshed and shown how to wear Kamala Harris's knee pads, or she too would end up in trouble. That's what they want everyone to do, folks. Get on your knees and suck it. Or bend over the fence and take it. That's their program for us. I really don't think that Big Orange, Mr. Trump, is going to pick a candidate like that. I really hope he doesn't pick one of these fucking greasy, carpet-bagging, sleazy motherfucking salesmen like, what, name your politician. I'm sick of politicians. Fucking sick and tired of politicians. Like this slimy sack of shit right here. Right? Democrat Representative Dan Goldman. Here's his quote. It now appears as if the House Republican majority is being used by Russia to interfere in the 2024 election. That's him. That guy. Well, there's an interesting story about that. Apparently, the Republicans didn't care for that type of attack. They're like, no, I don't think we like that. And I'm glad. Maybe they'll stand up for themselves and fight back. Here we are right here. Are you ready for this? Right? Scumbag, Representative Dan Goldman. He has now asked the Department of Justice. Yeah, sorry about that, Mr. Uman. He's asked the Department of Justice to investigate whether Senator Grassley and Representative Jordan and Representative Comer, if they knew that their indicted FBI informant was spreading Russian disinformation. This is incredible, folks. Get this. They're pushing the Russia collusion 2.0 bullshit story. This guy, he appeared on TV and now he's in front of Congress. This Dan Goldman from New York, slime bag, right? He's calling on the Department of Justice, the Attorney General. Yeah, Merrick the Smerick Garland. And he's claiming that Grassley, Comer, and Jordan knew that Russian disinformation was being spread. I find this fascinating. Just fucking fascinating. You can trust them. Really, folks, you can trust them. Now, DOJ must investigate. Really? I've got it for you right here. The FBI's confidential sources, folks. This is their confidential source. Alexander Smirnov, not the vodka, Smirnov. He was indicted by the Hunter Biden special counsel, David Weiss. And he has one count. Fucking Hunter Biden has multiple counts of having coke, crack, and whatever other drugs he's got jammed up his nose or in his ass or in his arm. Anyways, one count of making a false statement to the FBI. Unbelievable. Making a false statement, creating a false and fictitious record. How about Hillary Clinton in 2016 and afterwards, along with the Obozo administration, creating a false and fictitious record about Trump, starting with the Steele dossier and all that shit, and then having the Five Eyes and everyone get together and spy on the president, and then make false claim after false claim after false claim that he was a Russia collusion, Russian asset, Russian puppet. And they're doing it again. Again. Now, this... See, they went on the defense. Should have never gone on the defense. Comer's office responded. We never knew the informant's name. We never talked to the informant. The FBI never gave us his name. They redacted the FD 1023 because they said it was so important in an ongoing investigation. The FBI told the committee, including Democrats, the informant was highly credible. Whoops, he's been charged with a false count, right? And then it's just incredible. This is our country. A bunch of lying shitbags. Okay, I'm feeling good about that. Let's do this. Let's take more of your questions and comments. Mr. Uman, what do we have? Chin music. Oh, shit. Here we go. Chin music is going to come right out the gates with this. Normies. Normies are women who don't get their dicks caught in their zipper, or men who don't need tampons. That's a normie right there, folks. If you understand your own gender. Wow. I think you could probably create, Jen Music, probably create a list. How to tell a man is normal. Starting with, they don't need tampons. They don't feel the need to compete with women in sports to make themselves feel better. Men wear men's clothes. There's a good way to know if a man is normal. He's wearing men's clothing. Wow. Oh my God, my head's going to explode from their stupidity. Anyways, it would be great to see a comprehensive list. And I'm sure they are out there. I just haven't bothered going to look for them. Anyways, thank you, Mr. Chin Music, for that and your ongoing support, and also getting information to me on the backside via email, letting me know what's going on down in Texas. Woo! I tell you, we got a long way to go, folks. A long way. Okay. Mr. Uman, who do we have next? What do we have next? Who is up next? What do we got? Am I missing something? No, I'm not.
I'm trying to click on the question. It wasn't coming up. Sorry.
Oh,
as soon as I came on, it came up.
I was wondering if maybe your internet went out again. All right. Roy, the crypto boy, steps in. He says, cell phone outage may be a dry run. Yeah, I believe Kaz or Uman sent a message around through the R Syndicate, the inner circle, where we go one, where we go all, blah, 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 blah. No. Anyways, he said he thought it was a beta test. I really think these things are tests, whether they've done it once, tested the system to see if they could take it down, or whether they've tested it 5 times. It doesn't matter to me. I think they continue to test. So dry run, yeah. So what would happen if there is a communication outage on November 5th? Votes not counted and Biden, Michelle Obama, or Newsom is declared winner. What do you think would happen? if they took down the cell data, if they took down all communication, the internet, the world wouldn't know anything about November 5th or whether or not someone was declared the winner, because everything would be down. Now, if it was down for a short while they finished counting the votes, well, that in itself offers a unique, shall we say, challenge to determine what would actually happen. As we get to the day, folks, election day, voting day, you can expect the rhetoric crescendo to rise, the hatred and anger to rise. Every Democrat is thinking Trump is going to cheat because they couldn't throw him in prison, so he must be cheating and lying and buying off judges and juries, and he's an evil bastard and orange man bad. On the Republican side, we're going to be those cheating, lying, scumbag fucking Democrats because they told us they will lie, cheat, and steal, and they're not ashamed of it. Even with all the, I'm not seeing this stuff from government, regulators, observers, investigators, they are still throwing Democrats in jail all the time for cheating, for fraud, everything having to do with elections. In fact, there was a news story this morning. Some mayor of some shithole city in Illinois is now busted because she has been closing down businesses which will not contribute to her campaign. Whoops. Is that how government officials are supposed to use their authority? Shaking down fucking businesses for money? Now, what I think is going to happen, Roy, is everybody's going to be sitting on razor blades, sitting on thumbtacks, sitting on sharp objects that are going to poke their ass and make them very angry. I'm going to be one of them. I expect Trump to win and to win handily. As we go through this summer, you will see the Biden campaign and the Democrats failing miserably, while Trump fills fucking super stadiums to the brim with thousands of people outside. Enthusiasm to go vote like never before. In fact, last election, 2020, Trump got more votes than any incumbent president ever, including Obama in 2012. Ever. But that wasn't good enough to beat old Sleepy Joe. Oh, I'm going to take a nap. I'm not going to campaign. The man couldn't fill a fucking Burger King. Hillary couldn't fill a high school gym. And Obama couldn't fill a fucking Burger King. He had less than 100 people show up. Got it on good account. A witness shared this story with me, that when Biden campaigned in Tampa, Florida in 2020, they invited in like 100 cars. They were going to have like one of those COVID car rallies. Beep, beep, beep. I'm here, Mr. President, right? They couldn't get enough people to fill the spots that were available. No one gave a shit. So here we go. We know that if they try declaring a Democrat the winner, it's a fucking lie. We know for a fact Biden is unloved and an idiot. We know for a fact that Michelle Obama is not tested. She is not articulate. She is not intelligent. She is just a fucking carpetbagging bitch. That's it. And Gavin Newsom is an incompetent, lying socialist boob. If they declare Democrats winners after they turn the phones back on or communication back on, you are going to see outrage like you can't believe. Now, what will be done about it? Will Americans get violent? Will they take to the streets? Will they say no fucking way? We're going to find out. If the Democrats lose, Trump wins, I expect violence from the Democrats right off the bat. And I tell you what, folks, when it comes to violence, I am not going to glamorize or glorify it, but I will certainly sit back with my popcorn and a scotch and, well, my favorite toys. my freedom seed spreaders, and I will wait for my opportunity to liberate America from the communists. All right, Mr. Uman, I know we're collecting more comments and suggestions. We have a great crowd today. We got Heidi. She says, I admire Nikki Haley's willingness to stay in the race and force each state to actively vote Trump in instead of just having one choice forced on them. That's a difficult thing to do. I understand what you're saying. Let the other states show, yes, we want Trump. And they're doing that. Nikki Haley was beaten by, in Nevada, the write-in candidates. People that refused to vote for anyone on the thing and wrote in, they beat Nikki Haley. Okay, Nikki Haley is a warmonger. Now, I approve of bombing the shit out of terrorists when they fuck with us. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a peacenik by any chance. But starting wars for the sake of starting wars to make lots of money for your friends in the military-industrial complex and to get your 10% is the big guy. That sucks. Nikki Haley has demonstrated, in my opinion, Heidi, and you, of course, are welcome to your opinion. Everyone is. I just don't like her. I think she is a neocon war hawk. I don't think she represents true freedom-based values that Americans have. The First Amendment, the Second Amendment, Fourth, Fifth, so on and so forth. I think she is a rhino Republican mouthpiece. I'm glad she's staying in. I want the world to continue to learn about Nikki Haley. I do. And I want to see everyone have a choice to vote for someone other than just Trump. And I think Nikki Haley should see exactly how unpopular she is and just gracefully bow out if she has it within her. But I don't think she does. I really do believe, and this is my thought only, is that she's staying in the race in the hopes, the narrow hopes, but the potential hope of Trump being assassinated. And then she's like, well, I'm the only candidate left on the fucking ballot. I guess I get to be the Republican. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo, Trump is dead. It's that kind of a world. I don't have to make this shit up. This is what these people want. They want Trump dead. Orange man bad. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. If you want a candidate that I think would be a good vice president, I think Nikki Haley would be a great one. Not Nikki Haley. Carrie Lake of Arizona. She has been kicked around, shit on, attacked, drugged through the mud, had shit slung at her, and she is not backed off, and she is stuck to her guns. If anything, she's become more of a libertarian Republican because of the fraud she has seen and the devastating effect of deep state interference in elections. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that now. Now I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks a lot, Heidi. Mr. Uman, next, please. We got Orlando, and he says, I believe it was a beta test. He's talking about the phone communications thing. And they downloaded something sinister into the communication network while it was down. Now, Mr. Orlando, what the hell are you talking about, man? They downloaded something into the communications network while it was down, like some sort of Trojan horse thing with a clock or something. I don't know how any of this stuff works. That's why I'm asking. But it sounds so nefarious, so evil, that it must be true. That they took the network down. They probably put in, right, software that tracks Republicans. They probably put in software that picks up on our special code words. They probably put software in there that identifies Trump supporters. They probably put all kinds of software packages that are anti-freedom and liberty to fuck us over. Maybe they're going to start tracking us and putting us into groups and subgroups, breaking us up geographically so they know where we're at, so they can allocate police resources for martial law. It's all possible. But that would be one of those dangerous conspiracy theories, man. So we got to be careful. Can't fall prey to that. Oh, no. Thanks, Orlando. Great topic, man. Great topic. Mr. Uman, who is next? We're at the 50-minute mark. Every day, man, there's so much going on that we just fly through it. Uman says, the potato administration is saying they can use executive orders to shut down the border. The left isn't happy with that. Gee, what was the reaction to that when Trump said those things? Trump is a dictator. Trump is a racist. Trump is a white supremacist. Trump is a Nazi. That's what they said about Trump when he said, let's build the wall. Let's shut the border. Let's protect our national sovereignty from international interests that are un-American. So Potato Joe says they can shut down the border anytime they want. They got all the authority. Yeah, they do have all the authority in the world, folks. The thing is they're not fucking doing it. What's happening here is Biden is trying to save face. He's trying to make it sound like, well, we just discovered that we can actually do our fucking job. Thank you very much, Mr. Uman. That's what they're saying. Oh, I guess we'll do our job now. No need to vote for Trump. We can shut the border down. Okay, Governor Abbott, you have your National Guard. Go home. We'll take care of this mess. We promise. We won't fuck you over another dozen times. Right? We have somewhere between 10 and 15 million illegals here. 10 to 15 million illegals are in this country now. On top of all the other illegals and dreamers from years bygone. How many millions of these worthless motherfuckers are here? Oh, they're here, folks. All right, Mr. Uman, let's do it. We got some more coming here. We've got Name Redacted, and he says everything we're seeing is cultural revolution, meaning communist revolution, folks. But they are incorporating facets that historically worked from all flavors of the 20th century communism. They will not be stopped unless we stop them. Every entity has an administrative control level. That's a true fact. Whether it's the World Economic Forum, the Bilderberg Group, the deep state, the banking cartels. Here's a good one for you. There is, folks, an administration and control level to the aristocrats of Europe who have their hands in corporations. They have their hands in the banking system. They buy politicians. The people of Europe think they've got a democracy where they vote for people that go into office. The people that go into office, they get controlled and bought up. Oh, sorry, America. They do the same thing here. Now, Name Redacted continues. The last 40 years made it mandatory that those jobs only get filled with degreed people. That is to say, college graduates who were sure to mimic and recite everything the professor told them about how evil America is and how good communism is. So, Name Redacted finishes it off with, these degreed people guarantee management is indoctrinated. You can't fix that. Every entity, the banking system, the investment system, the monetary system. Now, what we've discovered, though, Name Redacted, is that when the scholastic buttheads in colleges promote, allow, and encourage pro-Palestinian, pro-terrorist, anti-Israel, anti-Jew, anti-Khazar, anti-this, anti-that, anti-America, anti-white, anti-Christian fucknuts to go out there and start chanting and attacking people, the rich people, especially the Jews in New York, they're like, hey, we wanted you indoctrinated fuckers out there in government working for us, not threatening us. And so they're like, we're pulling our money out of the colleges. No more grants. Well, good. You fucking idiots finally woke up. The colleges are no longer producing the degreed people that these rich fuckers wanted. The administrative control is being handed over to a bunch of, well, out of control left-wing nutcases. You see, the Bolsheviks had college degreed, college students, college dropouts, and basically the unwashed and unsuccessful Russian people. This is back in the early 1900s is when they really became powerful, when they had the Russian Revolution. Now, all of these people in Russia that were communists, that wanted to get rid of the Tsar and the empire, they all basically were Russian communists. They weren't lesbians, binaries, anti-binary. They weren't gay. They weren't bisexual. They weren't trans. They weren't drag queens. They were just communists, and they were easier to control, easier to keep corralled, easier to keep on message, easier to keep focused for purposes of violent confrontation with first the extreme rich, the aristocrats, from the czar to all of the barons and dukes and duchesses, etc. And then they went down and they attacked the bourgeoisie, the landlord class, these small business owners, and they just screwed everyone over. And they were able to do that because they kept them focused. Just college communists. Now we have college communists who are for gays and who are for Palestinians and who hate America, but they also hate Biden, and they call him Genocide Joe. And then they want the border opened, but they don't think it's fair because now those people coming across the border are getting their welfare. So Democrats hate each other as much as they hate us. Just like the extreme hardcore feminist anti-cock haters, right? They're out there. They do not like tranny men pretending to be women because they are just all a bunch of hate-filled idiots. So not only are they dividing the country right versus left, the left is subdividing itself. They're not doing really good at keeping control of it all. But that said, those in charge of the administrative or bureaucratic apparatus, they want degreed people out of college to fill those positions because odds are they are not going to be conservative. They won't be constitutional, shall we say, advocates. They'll be the exact opposite. And please remember this, everybody. A bureaucrat's job is to say no. Any excuse to say no, they say no. And then they go, here's my excuse. I'll say no again if you'd like. Go to the DMV. Forget a piece of paperwork? The answer is no. Bonk. Stamped no. Big stamp with FU on it. Right? Go to the doctor. Go to the hospital. Forget a piece of paperwork? Denied. No. When you're like, hey, I thought we were all supposed to have access to health care. Denied. Right? Anything. Court papers. Police officer. The tax people. Anytime you interact with government, how do you feel when you're done? More than likely, you feel violated. You feel cheated. That's exactly how I feel when I deal with government. Violated. Every level. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Now, wow. A couple more quick articles and I'm going to check out. And I'll be back 0 Dark 30 tomorrow. Please subscribe on YouTube. Please come over to thepreparedmind.club and sign up as a premium member. It's $2 a month that supports this channel. Or you can go to subscribestar.com. And please go to the rsyndicate.com to get information from every prepper channel, every news channel, every website, everybody that is in the world of prepping, in the world of patriotism. And Uman runs that site. It's his contribution to make sure everyone has the opportunity to get the information they need to be fully prepared. Now, at a Massachusetts high school, folks, school committee members say they need the National Guard to come in and stop the violence there. That's exactly, folks, how stupid Democrats are. Stupid. Instead of being responsible for oneself, one's children's, one's job, like running a school, these idiotic socialists want to bring in soldiers to use force and intimidation to control the kids. If they would had real discipline, if they were truly respectable adults, same with the kids' parents, we wouldn't have these problems. But Democrats, they want to invite martial law. They like that shit. They go from 0 to 100 miles an hour with their form of discipline. They go from zero effort in discipline to totalitarian levels of control. They like the sense of a police state. They like that. Somehow it makes them feel good to know there's Gestapo and Stasi and KGB and FBI behind every bush. They want Big Brother watching and breathing down your fucking neck. They feel safer that way. What a weird fucking way to live and think, huh? Unbelievable. Well, that's what we got. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. Are you prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Are you ready? I know I am. Get prepared. Thank you for watching. And yes, and yes, more is coming. See you soon.